Hi, it's Gail with Traders Help Desk, and today I actually want to go through track records, performance reports, your trade logs, okay? Because it's, I think, very important that people understand what these are. Number one, I think if you're going to give out track records, in my opinion, I think that the performance accuracy is paramount to everything. I think that your numbers have to be verified and it has to be verified by CPA. CPA, that's their job, is to verify financial records. SEC, CFTC, very specific mechanisms for verifying performance summaries or track records, okay? This way, you're not just getting a lot of numbers that have not been verified. Instead, you're getting numbers that the CPA has actually verified and stands behind. Not only does that protect me, but it also protects you. You know that what you are getting is valid, it's been audited, the CPA has signed off on it, and they have verified all of the information. In other words, it can't be bogus, okay? This is a TradeStation strategy performance report. It is hypothetical. I am only showing it to educate traders on what a track record should look like. And it should have a verification by a CPA that says all of these numbers are verified. Number one, it's going to show your typical net profit, gross profit, your gross loss, your profit factor. It would show all of that. It would show your average trade net profit. But more importantly, it's actually going to show you each and every trade. It's going to show you the entry, whether it was long, whether it was short, the date and time that the trade was taking, if you came out on a stop loss or if you came out on some other mechanism. It will show you the entry price and the exit price. It will show you how many contracts were traded. It will show you the net profit. It will show you the run up or drawdown, if available. It will also show you the cost, commissions. Now, commissions can really affect a performance summary. In leaving that cost out actually could result in you having a lot of negative trades. So, if you're coming up with an average net profit of $4.25, but your cost is $5, well, needless to say, it's not going to make money in the long run because of the costs associated with the trades. Now, in this case, the performance summary also shows you an equity curve line. And as you can see, in this case, it went underwater. It came back to about break even, and then it started making money. But this is in the past, and past is not indicative of the future. You can't say, okay, we just made a low, so now we're going to reach new highs. May not be the case. You may go into a drawdown and it may come back to 20,000. It could come back to 10,000. You're dealing with the future. And that's the reason that past performance is not indicative of future performance. So if you're asking for track results just because I made money last month, doesn't mean I'm going to make money this month. Okay? This is the website for Final Alternatives. And although they're a hedge fund and they're talking about portability of track records, I think this really says it all. Performance accuracy is the most important thing when it comes to looking at track results. The numbers cannot be open to interpretation. Instead, they have to validate the performance calculation and ensure the accuracy of the numbers they represent. Now, if a CPA is going to look at my records and they're going to certify them, then Okay, fine. If that's what I want to do, I'll release my track records. But just to release track records to some unknown person that's not a CPA, he's not going to audit the records pursuant to a CPA, then what good are the numbers? I mean, they're just numbers. You have no way of knowing, is this true? Is this false? Did they even take the trade? You have no way of knowing. That's the reason the SEC and the CFTC want the records to be audited, because then you are protected, and whoever is looking at those records can actually say these are true and accurate records. Now, this is a law firm that actually discusses the law of the SEC Rule 10b-5. And what really concerns most legitimate trading rooms is this statement right here, is to make untrue statements of a material fact or to omit to state a material fact necessary in order to make the statements made in the light of the circumstances in which they were made not misleading. Now, you might think, well, that just means you're lying. No, it doesn't. It means that I could actually make a mistake on my trading log or my broker statement, or omit a material fact, because if you're trading every day, it's pretty hard to recall, what did I do on January 5th? Was I long or was I short? What was my exit? And although the broker statement may provide it, having a CPA go over it, it makes sure that nothing is omitted. No material fact is omitted from that record. Okay? If you omit it, you're careless, but you could also be found in violation of the SEC Rule 10b-5. Courts, in reading over case reviews, it has become apparent that courts will hold that fraud is not just lying. It can also be carelessness. In fact, there's been recent cases where someone did not verify the report that they were giving, and of course they were fined very heavily by the SEC just because they did not go back and make sure a CPA audited those performance or track records. Now, here's the case that I was referring to, and you can see that it was August 25th that this press release came out. And you can also see that 13 firms accepted and negligently relied upon claims by a third party that their strategy had outperformed the S&P index for several years. Now, you can see here are the companies that were fined for relying on this report. And again, it's because it was not audited. If it's not audited, then it's really like it doesn't even exist. It has no merit whatsoever unless that CPA signs off on it. That's the important thing. Now, why all of this interest in track records? Because we have a lot of sites that are popping up that are supposedly experts at track records. This is one, and the video is entitled, "We Ain't Got No Stinking Track Record." And he had emailed me, actually he didn't, Roberta did, and wanted my track record. And I said I didn't say I didn't have a track record. I said I was not interested in providing one. By law, to release a track record according to CFTC regulations, the track record has to be audited by a certified accountant. Oh no, not this again. And then I said it's kind of stupid because I wrote and designed my indicators and no one can trade them as well as I can. Now he thinks I'm arrogant. That's not being arrogant. I've got 15 years of experience. I wrote my own indicators. I put the time in to learn price action and volume analysis and get to where I'm at today. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you really think that having maybe a year of experience or 2 years of experience in trading, and then you come to Traders Help Desk and you buy the indicators, do you really think you're going to be able to match my track record with less experience? I don't think so. Could you possibly make money? Sure. Could you lose money? Sure. There's thousands of possibilities here. But can you match mine? Probably not. Is it, in my opinion, is it right for me to give out this track report and entice you into coming in and buying it because you'll achieve my results? I don't think so. Not unless it's an audited report. And even then, I don't think you would be able to match the results without putting the time and effort into learning how to trade. Now, on the same page, you can also see that he has understanding track records. He has two here, one on a company named Valhalla and one on OEX Street in Trend Hunter. Now, when you go into these videos, you can see that he's done an Excel spreadsheet and he's projecting out what it would make in 12 months. Remember very clearly, you cannot project out into the future, in my opinion, because anything that occurred previously is past performance, and the market changes. Just because you made $1,000 last month does not mean you're going to make $1,000 this month. It just doesn't work that way. No, instead, this is trying to entice you into going into this room, hopefully making the same results that they have been making, okay? Well, their percent profitability is no higher than what the performance report was on the strategy, okay? So there's not a lot of difference here, guys. This, who certified this? I don't see an accountant statement there that said this is certified. If I play back on the video, I don't see it anywhere where he says that this is certified by so-and-so who's a CPA and they use GAAP procedures. I don't see any of that terminology here. I see where there's a lot of opinion, but, everybody has an opinion. I have one, he has one. It doesn't make this a profitable trading room. If you go to the next one, understanding track records, again, if you go through here and look at these track records, do you see anywhere on here that it says, hey, this was certified track performance by a CPA? No. Do you see the detail of trades like we saw in the performance report given by TradeStation? No. That would be, pretty much equivalent to a broker statement. Do you see that? No. This is opinion. That's it, in my opinion. It has no merit. There's nothing to back this up. There's nothing to say, hey, there's no mistakes in these numbers. I can rely on these numbers. There's nothing that says that. And again, when you're looking at this, you're seeing cumulative trades, winners and losers and ticks. But if you come over here in TradeStation, you can do monthly, you can do daily, you can do annually. In other words, it is actually going in and looking at all of the numbers. This is what a performance report that is audited by a CPA is going to do for you, in my opinion. And they're going to have a little statement on there that says this has been certified by XYZ CPA firm according to the gap procedures. Okay, that tells you you can rely on that number. This, who can you rely on? Him? Okay, well, he might be a nice guy or whatever, but did he conduct this audit according to CPA regulations? I don't know. He doesn't really say. Now, this is his website, and what he does say on here, he does give you some background information on him. But under the Global Trade Titans, he does tell you that the Global Trade Titans are trade sites and rooms that trade truthfully. They post a detailed, truthful track record. They trade transparently. They trade profitably, meaning they made net more than $50,000 per year on 3 contracts per trade basis. It doesn't tell me what they pay for their trades or any other details that you would need. Now, he does say that he found 15 trade titans from his many evaluations. But even after these evaluations, some of them just got dropped. Well, in my opinion, if you were dropping the rooms after you spent all of this time in the evaluation mode, your evaluation wasn't very good to begin with. Okay? Now, these are supposedly the trade titans, and I don't know these people. They might be great traders. It might be great trading rooms. I don't know. But I will say this. If we click on them, he opens up a document, and he tells us all about the company and who the company is and all of the awards and stuff. And then you can actually click on the link, and it opens up a new one. Now, when you open up the new one and you go to the P&L summary, this is the track record that he's speaking about. Well, this track record tells me nothing. It tells me nobody certified it. It's just somebody typing it into a website, as far as I know. I wasn't in the room to watch these trades. What, am I going to depend on this guy to tell me that they're truthful? I don't know him. He's a stranger to me. Okay? Now, this guy tells me a minimum of 2 contracts needed to get close to my results. But wait a minute. He says that they net more than $50,000 per year on a 3 contract per trade basis. And where is this? They post a detailed track record. Do you consider this to be detailed? Because in what I'm looking at, that would not be a detailed trade record. TradeStation gives me a more detailed trade record than this does. Well, maybe it was just that particular guy. So let's try another one. Let's go to scalping the E-minis. And again, this is, his little information package. And if I click on it, then we can watch the video first. But let's go down to frequently asked questions. And it says, I like your trading strategy, but I have no time to trade. Can you trade it for me? This was what was interesting. No, we do not trade our strategies. To make sure we have complete objectivity, we need not have any skin in the game, therefore giving us complete freedom to test different filters and systems. We do trade from time to time to check and test new systems, but not to profit from trading. But isn't that against what he just said over here? Trade truthfully. They post a detailed, truthful track record, but they don't trade. They trade profitably. No, they don't. They just said that on their website. They just said it right here. We need not have any skin in the game. We do not trade our strategies. That is pretty specific, don't you think? And you can go through any of these that you want to, but my point is, and these might be great rooms. I have no opinion on the rooms whatsoever. I'm just showing you what he's showing you and telling you, that these are the global trade titans. They have accurate reports. That's an opinion, guys. And we all know everybody has an opinion. You know, this nightly patterns. If you go to the trade results, it's got some beautiful spreadsheets in here. Now this is his spreadsheet. And again, I don't have any opinion. This might be the best trader in the world for all I know. But do you see how this says blog results? He does give you more information than the other ones. But are these actual trades or just blog posts? Okay. This is 10 contracts, dollar cumulative, 4x no compounding, 20x no compounding. Okay, so did you trade compounding and uncompounding, or did you just do one? I'm not really sure. Now, if I had the actual CPA audited track performance, it would tell me. This really doesn't tell me a lot of information other than he posts to the blog and this was the blog results. Now, why am I even doing this? Because last night I got another email. The first one was from Emmett Moore, and now it's Roberto that works with this guy at Global Titans. And it says, can you look like a horse's ass in this video. You are in this video. Any comments? So, of course, initially I did respond, and I probably should have taken a step back, but of course I didn't. And it said I could frankly care less about another run-of-the-mill review scammer. Yes, if I agreed to pay them 30 or 50% of my sales, they will be more than happy to provide a great review. But I'm not going to be blackmailed or extorted because they need money or need to increase their website traffic. The horses' asses are the people that believe these fictitious reviews. Of course, believing anything other than the truth that trading is hard work, you actually have to work at it, is much easier and a lot more convenient. What a joke. Hackers are getting into banks and governments, but wait, the new trader wants us to give out all of our financial details to strangers. Oh yeah, that makes so much sense. It's comical, actually. I'm wondering if you asked your doctor or lawyer for the records, and if you did you get them? You see, he compares trading to bowling. The problem is that trading isn't a game, it's a job, it's a profession. It's taking the time to develop the skills to execute every facet of the trade. Thanks for the laugh this evening. I'll sign my name. What I didn't realize until I was talking to my daughter, who does not trade, she did not understand what track records were. And that's when I thought, you know, there's a lot of traders coming into trading. They really don't understand what track records is. You know, I can take and put any numbers up on my website, and you could erroneously believe this is a track record. It's not a verified track record. It is not a verified track record, in my opinion, unless it comes with a statement from a CPA that says this has been verified. All information contained in this report has been verified. That protects me, but it also protects you. Okay? If you're going to come in and you're just going to take my trades, which I don't run that type of trading room, but if you did, it protects you in that you know my results have been verified. Hey, it could be anybody sitting behind a screen saying, hey, I verify these results as a blogger. That doesn't mean squat, okay? It just means, just like the guy said there, he's going to drop a bunch of trading rooms because he didn't take the time to do it right. He didn't take the time to get it audited, okay? That's what a track record is. It is a record that has been audited by a certified public accountant using GAAP procedures that says all of these trades were taken. They were taken in a live account, and these are the actual results. Anything less than that, I'm sorry. In my opinion, it's just numbers with no meaning because they haven't been verified and you can't rely on them. Now, you may be wondering, why don't I provide a track record? I'm an educational room. People come to me to be trained to learn how to trade. They don't come to me because they want to take my trades. They come to me because they want to learn how to trade. They want to learn how to read charts, how to read price bars, how to read volume, or how to trade binary options. I'm an educator. Am I a trader? Yes. But I'm also an educator. And I'm not going to give out fictitious numbers just because someone wants to review my numbers. If I'm not going to provide legitimate track records that have been audited, then I'm not giving out anything. It's really just that plain and simple for me. And again, if you're relying on my track record, you're not coming in with my experience, guys. It's fictitious, and it's influencing you to think that you can accomplish this in a very short period of time, when I know for a fact it's going to take you a while to get there.